Today I'm going to rebuild a Weber 3234 DMTL, and I've never ever done it before. Guess what's arrived? We've got the carb service kit. So today we have to do all of this. Wish me luck. The carb needs to be rebuilt because there was an old dodgy fuel tank which put in lots of rust into the float chambers. There's solidified fuel in the jets and it's oozing liquid. So we need to get the carb off. Step 1, disconnect everything. The air intake needs to come off. Fuel feed, return pipes, vacuum pipe, solder cable, choke cable, the fuel cut-off solenoid. Undo the nuts, get it out, and time to dismantle. Undo the screws holding down the top cover assembly. Undo the 4 jets. I'd forgotten about the solenoid, so unscrew that one as well. Here it is, looking like some new makeup product. There's a tiny little split pin that holds on the choke link and the choke spindle, so take that out with your tweezers. I did have help and a manual for this, so this is not all me. Once the top cover assembly is off, then you can actually get in there and see what's going on. It wasn't a very pretty state for this carb. I have previously replaced that gasket, so that one's all right, but the rust and sludge, just not a pretty little carb. Take out the float and float pin. Take out the needle valve housing and the needle valve. And if you unscrew this, you can get to the fuel filter. Mine was absolutely revolting because of the really old fuel tank. Unscrew the accelerator pump assembly and take out the membrane inside of that. Mine had a crinkle in it, which explains quite a lot. Then take off the economy pump assembly and then unscrew the idle mixture control screw. We didn't touch the compound throttle linkage assembly because that bit was all fine. So you should be left with the 2 parts of the carburetor and all of the crap in a bowl. Now it's time to get the carb cleaner out and go to town. First we had to take off this gasket, which was just bleh. It was a bit of a pain to get off, but we got there eventually. This is probably not the technical way of doing it, but it got the job done. You may notice I forgot about a solenoid, but do as I say, not as I do. This was the fun bit. I didn't realise quite how bad the state of the carb was until that gasket and also tipping out this liquid. If you just wait a second, it goes bleh, and it's just revolting.
So yeah, pour that shit out.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be like that. This is the bowl of gunk. You're all going to tell me that I should have used a very fine sandpaper. I didn't, but, you know, it's working fine now, so we're all right. Step 4, new components in. You basically just do everything now in reverse. Pop a new diaphragm on the economy pump assembly. A word of warning here, it's quite a faff to do, and it gets a little bit folded. Tighten the screws all a little bit first, and then tighten the whole thing down together just to make sure it's all right. And do exactly the same with the accelerator pump assembly. I actually put this diaphragm on the wrong way round. So when I took it to be tuned, and I was like, why is it not working properly? The man was like, you put this thing on the wrong way round. So that was a really stupid thing. Do not do that. Put it on the right way round. When it is on the right way round, sort of pre-assemble it a little bit and then screw it all down together so that nothing folds. Put in the idle mixture control screw tight. Well, not tight, but just a little bit tight. And then turn it out 1.5 or maybe 2 turns. Take out the accelerator pump jet and put a little new ring round it. My jets have sort of come apart a little bit, and I know you'll say get some more, but we just sort of pressed them out and it sort of figured itself out. Tighten the refurbished jets down and put in a much needed new fuel filter. New needle valve housing and needle valve. New floats and a new float pin. Then we've got to set the float height. The gap should be 7mm. We didn't have the right tool, but the razor blade we used for cleaning was exactly 7mm, so we measured it off that. Bit of a bodge job, but it worked. We also replaced the inline fuel filter because that was horrific, as you'll see later. New gaskets in and reattach the choke link, which is not my favourite job in the world. Screw back on the top cover assembly. Whack back on the makeshift zip tie and put the new hose on. And then we basically just shoved it all back together, popped it on, tightened everything up. Now this is where it really gets fun. New fuel filter. The last one you took out, oh, it was so revolting. You should have seen the state of the fuel tank before I replaced it. It was like 4 billion times worse than this. So thankfully, we've got a new fuel filter and attached that. New gasket. And we put the big lump of metal back in its little place. Tightened up all the screws, which was a bit of a faff due to the position of them. Reattached all of the linkages and cables. Put the cover back on. Tighten up all of the Jubilee clips. The moment of truth, starting her up. Obviously, you know that's not going to go so well because I didn't do the diaphragm very well. I could taken off the HT leads, I don't really know why. But anyway, I put them on the wrong order, so it was firing in the wrong order, which was utterly stupid. But anyway, my bad. It's been utterly freezing, so the battery was not having a good day. So we jumped her off the 110, but we were still having no luck. So at that point, I thought, right, let's leave it to the professionals and go and get her tuned. A couple of days later, I went to go and pick up my Landy from the tuners, and these are the results. Let's fire her up. First time, new carb. Melt. What the fuck? Oh, I love Land Rovers. That's warm. Got my speaker. Oh my god, best day ever. I had no idea this is how Land Rovers were meant to be. It's just incredible. I can get to, I'm at 47 right now and it took like only 20 seconds. I'm really, really, really happy.